Hello, my name is Chie Tanaka, and this is my dream organization presentation for my organizational behavior class final. So, a little bit about my leadership style. I have a huge satisfaction when I help people and they become happy and satisfied because of my actions that I take. So that is a huge part that affects my leadership style. And I think it is so big because when I see them be happy, I get the huge satisfaction that drives me to do even more other bigger and better things. And I see myself as the sun that I have in this PowerPoint video, just because I see the sun as something that's very big and oversees everything and tries to make everything better and makes everything happier. So that is the kind of leader I want to be in the future. I want everyone to be happy and satisfied, and I want everything to work perfectly. I think this is a good quality that I can bring into the dream organization, because without a happy team, I think that the team cannot be as successful as it potentially could be. A and a team that is not happy is probably not as productive and not as it's just not at the full potential that it could be. So with the with my influence, it would hopefully improve the team in a positive way and help it go to get on to another step. So one thing that I can bring to the table is to help motivate employees. Things that I can help do this is having group goals. With goals, I think individual goals are also very important, but with the group goals, it is nice because you can all work towards a common end goal where everyone can meet at the end. And every single person that is working on that project will be able to feel like they were actually a part of that project, just because every single step is very important, and it's all a part of the end goal. Another thing is to having a very supportive environment. Having a supportive environment is definitely one of the key things that I think are good for motivating employees, because with the support that is given to them, they feel like they are included into the team. Without the support, I, I would definitely feel like my I would my quality would definitely go down, because I wouldn't feel the need to do my job, and I wouldn't know why exactly I would be doing my job. Also, having incentive is another way to motivate employees. Things such as bonuses, or just like the paid days off, or even just like a little gift would help brighten the day and make everything feel a little better. Another thing that I think is very important is respect towards each other, no matter what the position is, even if you are the highest level of position in versus the lowest, you both need to respect each other, because you are both a key part in the end goal. And without either one of them, the project would not be able to be the same as it could be and go at the full potential. So I think having amount of respect is very important. And I think that's very obvious for someone of a very lower rank to respect someone that's higher, but I think it's very important for a higher ranked person to respect lower people as well. I think that's very important because without that, the people who are ranked higher would feel would seem like the lower people are not as important, and that is definitely not what I want my dream organization to be like. I want everyone to be happy in their position and not feel like they need to do something just to gain someone's respect, if that makes sense. So leadership styles that I think are important for my dream organizations are actually a combination of everything. So the four main leadership styles include direct leaders, supportive leaders, participative leaders, and achievement oriented leaders. So direct leaders are people who provide specific directions to their employees. I think this is very important because without them, they're like the bones. Without them, the people, um, things will not get done as quickly as they could be because they are more about each specific task. And that is definitely something that is needed in any organization. Supportive leaders are leaders who provide emotional support to employees. They're the ones that take care of them in a personal level, and they're the ones that push them and encourage them to do better. I think supportive leaders are also very important in an organization because without them, something just says like checking emails and stuff like that. Very boring jobs, but supportive leaders can make it so that their jobs can be more pleasant, and they can make their day better, making their work improve. Participative leaders are the ones that make sure that employees are involved in the making of important decisions. So they are more effective when employees have a high level of ability and when the decisions to be made are personally relevant to them. So I think this is very important as well because in my organization, I want it so every single one of my employees would have a say. I want to listen to everyone's opinions and I want to get as much input as possible because I want my organization to succeed. And the more diverse point of view I have, the better it is for me. An achievement oriented leader are ones that set goals for employees and encourage them to reach their goals. So they're the ones that challenges employees and they're the ones that focuses more on the work-related goals. I think this is also very important because I want to strive and I will probably never be satisfied with the end goal. I want to improve and get a better product every single time, and I want to keep on doing that until, well, not until I reach the top because there is no top. I want to just keep on going until I I can't keep on going. And so this is my personal leadership statement. It's to make the people around me motivated and happy. No matter how big or small, I want to affect these people in a positive way and make them feel driven in their work. So as I first talked about in the beginning of the presentation, I think how people who are happy and motivated are the people who are the most effective in their work. So when issues and conflict arise in my company, some things that I will take into action is to first actively listen. Not just listen to everyone, but actively listen, as in actually sit down and have a conversation with as many people as I can, and who I think that's very important because especially for people who are on the lower level, they may feel like their voices are not as heard in other companies, and I do not want that to be in my organization. I want everyone to have a say in and if a conflict arises, I want them to communicate with that. Which leads me to the next point, which is communication, which I think is a very important thing. I personally prefer direct communication over indirect communication, just because with indirect communication, there might be a misunderstanding and things like that. Direct communication is the way to go for an organization that, for my dream organization, because I don't want them to be any misunderstanding in the work. I want everyone to be on the same page, and I want everyone to keep the communication going just so there is no flaw. I would then take action. So after I listen to as many people as I can, get as much input as I can, and communicate what I've heard and things like that, I would actually do something and make sure the issue or the conflict is not maybe not resolved, but taken care of. As sometimes there are times when issues cannot be resolved, unfortunately, which is a hard fact, but I definitely want to try my very best to make sure that it is at least do something about it and make it better. And I think when conflict arises, there you shouldn't rush through them and try to brush it all through. I really want to take my time and make sure everything is done correctly. Another thing that I think is very important is compromising. Instead of just doing what I want to do and not listening to other people, I think going into the middle ground is a very important thing. So the kind of team that I want to work with is a diverse group of team. It's kind of a cheesy thing to say, but we are all in this together because we are all one big team. And from someone that is outside of my organization, everyone in my organization is a part of it. So we're all responsible in some sort of way for the end product. So I wanted my team to all be together, and I also want it to be diverse, as in I want a diverse age group, I want diverse race, sexual orientation, religion. It just doesn't matter for me. I just want a big group. I think a diverse group is very important because a diverse group creates a higher creativity in the decision making process. And also, you will be able to get a better understanding and service to customers just because you have more eyes and you have more thoughts going through, so you'll be able to get much more different points of view from every single one of your employees. It also creates a more satisfied workplace because a diverse group is more likely to feel like they are fairly treated, which means if they feel like they're more fairly treated, then they are more employees are more satisfied, which creates a better rate of return. It also leads to higher company performance, so that's always a plus. So, decision making, when I need to do that, I will first listen to my employees. I think listening to my employees' point of view is very important. Just like how I talked about what I would do when I handle issues and conflicts. It's kind of like the same things I would do for the issues and conflicts and the decision making. So first listen and take their opinions into consideration. And then I will definitely look at the big picture as well. Then I will also figure out how big my impact would be, what the decision would be. Because something with a lower impact doesn't matter as much as something with a higher impact. If the impact is higher, I definitely need to take my time and make sure 100% that I'm doing the right decision. Something like implementing a new software and things like that. That is a huge decision, and it will impact every single one of my employees because we're gonna switch to a different software. So that would be I will definitely take time with that and make sure everyone's opinion is heard, especially if some features are getting deleted and some features are getting added. They're the ones that are going to be using it on daily, so I will definitely listen to that. When change appears, how I would handle it is first I would introduce the change to everyone. So if it was the software example that I was using earlier, I would first talk about the software and tell all the employees about all the features and what's gonna happen and what's gonna change, but not actually give them the software. Just talk about it, and so they can get used to the idea and they can soak up all the things that I will be telling them. And then after that phase, I would then have I'll call it the support phase, where I have well, first I will have like a support team and a troubleshooting team who are like the pinpoint persons who who can help other people. But this phase is where they would first start actually working with the product. So with the software, they would start working with the software, playing around with it, and things like that to make sure everything is going smoothly. And then I would actually implement the software where we would be able to use just the software 100%. So the type of culture that I would be expecting from my dream organization is a very accepting culture and somewhere that's an open environment. Well, and I think I think I want everyone to be comfortable in my organization, and I don't want anyone to feel like they can't say something just because they will be judged if they say their opinion. So I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page and everyone feels comfortable in my organization. I will also implement programs such as like a diversity training program. I think this is very important, just so you can, like, someone who don't have that kind of understanding gains that knowledge. Another program that I would be interested in is something more about like sexual orientation. I know I took that a couple years back, and that definitely opened up my eyes on all the things that in that category. So I think that's another one that I would be very interested in implementing my dream organization. As of what my building is like, which is kind of the fun part, I want it to be very open, very spacious. I want there to be lots of windows so sunlight can get in, and it's very bright. And I want there to be lots of plants and things like that. So it's a very clean environment. I would also like to have like break rooms and things like that where there's no work allowed there, and a mandatory lunch break, obviously, so people can rest throughout the day, and maybe even a space where people can work out through the day, just so they can get their mind going. I definitely study better or like work better after moving around, so that might be a good idea since everyone works differently. I would probably just add a lot of different things into it just so everyone is comfortable. Even like a room for naps, that would be nice. And then here's another picture of a potential room that I could add. And this room you could actually work in this room. But I don't think I want any cubicles, just because I feel like cubicles are very you feel like you're very closed in. I want it to be a very creative space. So I would want it to everyone to be comfortable and feel like they're not at work, essentially. But yes, that is it. Thank you for listening to my dream organization. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you very much.